welcome back to our Level Up series. I am Michaela, and in today's cheat code, I'll be showing you a few quick and easy ways to be interactive and stay engaged while you're on a Microsoft Teams meeting. Even though many organizations are starting to make that move back towards a more hybrid and flexible structure where you're splitting your time between remote working and also going into the office, virtual meetings are most definitely still happening, so it's important to make sure that we're making the most out of them. And with this great deal of remote work still happening, virtual meeting burnout can be a real thing. People really crave that human interaction and personal connection that a meeting through a screen just can't always bring. So, to try and combat that issue, there are many ways that you can liven up your Teams meeting, both as the presenter and as the viewer. So let's start on the presenter side of things. Oftentimes, you'll be sharing your screen, so it can be a little difficult to see your audience's reactions to what you're saying since they sort of go off to the side as you present. But one key place to start that sometimes is overlooked is simply just encouraging participation. When you start out a meeting, be sure and let your viewers know that their feedback and their comments are welcomed. And you can even mention the different ways that they can do that while on the meeting, which we'll run through those in just a few minutes. But just reminding them that those options are there can make a huge difference in the engagement from your team. Another simple way to keep your team engaged is through polls. As a presenter, before you go into a meeting, you can set up a poll to go live during that meeting, which then allows the audience to participate once you get to that point in the meeting. And polls not only let your viewers kind of express their opinion, but also keeps them attentive and focused on what you're saying. Also, as a host, you can use the spotlight feature. So if you have anyone else on the call that will be talking, or maybe if someone has a question, you can use the spotlight feature to bring them forward to the main screen as they talk. We use this feature a lot in our company-wide calls here at WorkSmart, and it makes it super easy to see who's talking or who's asking the question, and also helps with not having just one single person or one screen to look at throughout the entire meeting. Moving along to the audience point of view, so as a participant in a virtual meeting, there's many different ways for you to stay engaged as well. Starting out with the basics, use the Q&A and chat boxes. The Q&A works really well when you have a question, but maybe you don't want to interrupt the speaker at that moment. You can just send it through the box, and then the speaker has the ability to answer the question whenever they'd like. The chat box is really good for making comments. So maybe there's a relevant link that you want to share with everyone on the meeting that's based on the content being shared. The chat box works really great for that kind of stuff, and you're still not interrupting the speaker in what they're saying. If you don't want to type out your question and you'd rather ask it aloud, you can use the hand raise feature, which we've probably all seen before. You just press the little icon and it shows the presenter that you have a question. But now there's a new little twist to the feature, which actually makes it better. So you can now see the order of hand raises. So if multiple people are asking questions, the speaker is able to easily see, one, who raised their hands, and two, what order they raised them in. So that way they can be sure and answer all the questions and make sure that no one's question is getting missed. In the same little pop-out as the hand raise feature, there's a number of other reactions, as Teams calls them, that you can use as well. So say, for example, someone on the call is getting recognized for an award. You can send them the cheers reaction, or maybe someone is sharing some really exciting news. You can send the heart reaction through. And these reactions may seem kind of insignificant, but it really shows the speaker and everyone else on the call that you're listening, and it helps keep you engaged at the same time, again, without interrupting the speaker. Plus, once one person on the call sends one of those reactions, it's typically a domino effect, and others will quickly join in, which makes for a much more engaging meeting for everyone. Lastly, there is a super easy way to switch things up a little and even serves as a conversation starter in some cases, and that's your background. You can easily switch backgrounds in your Teams meetings just to have a change of scenery, and luckily Microsoft is always pumping out new ones to choose from as well. On the flip side, I would not recommend changing your background image 5 times throughout the same meeting, as it might get a little distracting to others on the call, but Switching up your background every so often or between meetings is a super easy way to have a little switch up from your usual meeting scenery. That is all I have for today's cheat code. I hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit more about ways to stay engaged during these virtual meetings that we're likely all having. And even though, again, more and more companies are starting to adopt that hybrid workplace, virtual meetings are not going anywhere anytime soon. So we should definitely maximize the tools we have and make sure that we're making the most out of them. If you have any questions or topic ideas you'd like to see in an upcoming video, please reach out to either myself or Marissa at our emails listed here on the screen. We're always open to feedback and appreciate any ideas you may have. So with that being said, we will see you in the next video.